Well, Phil, I sense listening to your interview after the Bromley game, frustration really, because you wanted your side to be more proactive.
I did. I wanted a proactive performance against a team in the top 2 or 3 of the division. I know we've got still Barnet to play and we've still got Chesterfield to play. You're just putting that marker down, which I talk about quite often. Everybody looks at the league table and you always get a gauge of where you are, because the league table doesn't lie. But has our league table lied of late? I don't know. It's we're still in the bottom 4 and we've still got a battle on our hands, and we've still got 6 games to play and we've still got games to win. And if I'm getting the telltale signs that are pointing us in the direction of winning, I'd be a happier man. On Saturday, was it Saturday Bromley or Tuesday? It's been hectic, as you well imagine. But on Saturday against Bromley, certain things that we did were pointing me in the right direction. Certain things that we did pointed me in the wrong direction. It's getting that fine balance, between the battle and the playing side, and it's the playing side that frustrated me. When we made the substitutions, it's not direct relationship to playing better because the people that came off the bench. It was just it spurred the team on to a certain extent when Lambert came on, when Bellis came on, when Sammy Robinson came on. It doesn't mean to say the 3 players that left the field to play weren't contributing in terms of football, but I just felt that sprightly, instead of being big and strong and maybe a little bit pedantic, maybe a little bit ponderous to a certain extent, was probably the reason why we weren't playing as much. But I have to say, we've got a squad of players that, regardless of what we put out there, I think they're buying into what we're trying to achieve. There's no doubt about it. You can't say that the endeavour wasn't there. And there was an opportunity late on in the game for Sammy Robinson to win the game for we. That would have been the game plan down to a T, and it would have been a smash and grab, and we would have come away with 3 points. What did Bromley go and do against Wealdstone last night? Exactly that. There's nothing wrong with the smash and grab. There's nothing wrong with not playing well and winning. There's nothing wrong with playing brilliant and losing. It's all part and parcel of football, and we've got 6 games to prove that we've got enough in that change room and enough spirit and quality to get past these 6 games.
In the cold light of day then, before you went to Bromley, I would have thought a point there would be a point gain, given that where they are in the league.
Yeah.
Is it a point gain or is it 2 dropped?
I think you asked the same question about the home games as well, didn't you? Against Fylde, and the 0-0 draw against
York,
aye. And when you think about the York game, they came and shut shop. There's a level of respect. Where Fylde were concerned, they got their noses in front, and knowing the way Chris Beach has turned Fylde around, AFC Fylde around, he was hanging on for dear life. And when we got the equaliser, I thought we could have gone on to win it. So that's, for me, the National League. It's been not so much the war of attrition that I thought it would be. When I got relegated with Southend, having inherited a team that was bottom of the league by a long way. We went down and went to the National League, and that war of attrition was from minute 1. Every game was a battle. It was a hardened creature that was coming at you week in and week out. I don't think it's that bad this time around. And what I mean by bad, I don't think it's as hardened as what it was 2 or 3 years ago. There's a lot of teams that are playing, Wealdstone being one of them. They'll be trying to play good football against us, and if that's the case, well, if it becomes a game of football, I hope we've got enough. I think we've got enough. I think we'll play in a certain way to show that we've got enough nous and quality to win the game.
We've been saying for months now, probably before you came in really, that essentially there was going to be a bit of a mini league at the bottom. You've got to win that mini league to get out of trouble. Wealdstone clearly are down there. Okay, they have games in hand, but nonetheless, you've got to look on this one as you've got to get something from it really. Well,
Wealdstone showed their colours last night, and showed us how they play, showed us what they have in terms of strength and depth, but not available to them. People are in international duty. You're talking about international duty here. But they're a non-league club with a decent budget, to be fair. But that in itself suggests that they train twice a week and play on a Saturday. Well, they're not training twice a week anymore. They're playing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They're playing every day. It's quite phenomenal how they've had games cancelled, first and foremost, because of the surface, and secondly, the international duties, if you like, or whatever. And thirdly, you're looking at a side that's had a good cup run. They got to the semi-finals of a decent trophy. So that's the reason why there's so many games behind us. But The league is the league. There's their war of attrition because they're playing 2, possibly 3 times a week. I'm not saying we're going to try and catch them at the right time. We're playing them on Saturday. They've had a game on Wednesday, and there's enough time and rest and recovery to get enough players out and available for selection on the Saturday. So we know what they've got. We know what they are. We'll have a game plan with that in mind, and hopefully that'll be a successful game plan.
Every manager in the league will be thinking the same thing this weekend. If we get a decent result this weekend, it gives us a really good springboard into the Easter programme running.
I think we've done our springboarding, as it were. We've planted enough seeds, we've put enough foundations in place in the 12 games. We now got the short run in of 6, and we've just talked about it upstairs. All the players, all the backroom staff, we've talked about this process that we've put in place for these 12 games and what it's rewarded us with. So the process is working. We've just got to find a better way of getting enough points on board. If you ask me a points total, the points total that we first came into Kidderminster Harriers, that would have survived in most years. In fact, it has never gone down. Only one anomaly where a team was, I think a team was disqualified from a competition or whatever, was relegated by whatever. And 51 points was that target. But I think this year, with us raising a gallop and sort of questioning everybody around us, I think everybody's got serious about it. Now all of a sudden, it was any 4 from 5 when I first arrived. It looks like it's any 4 from 8 or 9, which it bodes for an interesting finish, if truth be known. I'm looking forward to it. But it starts on Saturday. We don't look any further than Saturday. Saturday brings 3 points. Then we'll build towards the home game and see what we can get. But the earlier we can get points on board, and the more we can give ourselves a chance, because it's in our hands, the better we'll be.
You've added to the squad again. Charlie Weston in on loan from Blackburn Rovers. Tell us a bit about him.
I've known Charlie, and I've known of Charlie for quite some time. He's a decent player. I didn't think there was any chance of getting him on loan. He's played in Blackburn's team on 3 occasions at championship level. If you look at the under-21s, the statistics that they put out in Y-Scout and things like that, he's one of the best passers. He's in the top 4, I think, for the under-21s. So all of these things in mind, I just wanted a little bit of competition for places. Now that we've lost Shane, the club captain, I don't think there was enough pressure on Zach Brown and Reagan Griffiths in the previous game. I think they knew that we had 1 or 2 that could play in there, but not really central midfield players. So I decided to ask the chairman for a dig in his pockets again for to get another one in, and he agreed to it, and Charlie Weston was the answer. He's a good player, a good little player, and he's been on the training ground all week. Will he be playing on Saturday? We'll see when the team sheet comes out, but that competition for places is every position now, regardless of what system we're playing.
He'd have to be the right sort of character, really, I guess, because yes, he's had some first team experience, but not a great deal, and he's coming into a situation here where you've got 6 games on which your National League future depends, really.
And he won't understand it. That's sometimes the beauty of it. You bring somebody in that hasn't got a clue about a survival campaign. Sometimes that's a disaster. Sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. Hopefully, it's the latter of the two. He's come in here. He saw, a group of very, very conscientious players. The group. We've got 24 players on the training ground. That in itself tells you how conscientious they are. The players that have gone out on loan, they all want to train. So they come into Kidderminster Harriers to train on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, when they've been training twice a week with their own team, So we're doing something on the training ground that's creating the right kind of environment, that people are enjoying themselves. But there's only one way to enjoy yourself, and that's win a game of football on Saturday. The training becomes second to all of that. If you win on Saturday, training takes care of itself, and that's what we want to do in the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Most of training now, would that be about tactical plans? Because if they haven't got the fitness by now, they're never going to have it, are they? Really?
That's true, but we had a game behind closed doors on Tuesday against Shrewsbury. We won 4-1, and some players were desperate for it, Nat Percival, who I always struggle to see his name, but Nat, he got a full 90 minutes in. Matty Preston got a full 90 minutes in. J. Emmanuel Thomas got a full 90 minutes. Some players got a full 90 in it, and it was so rewarding for us to get that, so that we've got the full squad, that I've got enough minutes under the belt. Absolutely. So what you've said is so true. If they're not fit now, they never will be. So tactics do play a big part in it, set pieces play a big part in it, systems play a big part in it, especially if you've changed the system, for instance, and obviously what the opposition are doing as well. So it is a lot of mind duty, shall we say, as opposed to body duty, you know. And but the body's taking over. People start getting nervous by definition. You're coming into the latter stages of a race or a championship or whatever you're playing for. You're coming into them latter stages. You need your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul. You need all of that, but mind is so important. The mentality of the group has got to be vital. One, how to win a game of football, and two, stay calm enough to win a game of football.
You just said, obviously, Nat Knight, Percival, and Matt Preston both had 90 minutes, so I'm guessing the injury situation is easing, shall we say. Shane Bourne, when he first had his injury, you said he was probably done for the season, but there was a slight chance he might get back for the last game. Do we have any update on that at all?
No, Shane's got to stay in a brace for 6 weeks, unfortunately. So, but his presence, I've got to say it, you know, captains are captains. Sometimes they do things above and beyond the call of duty. Shane Bourne, above and beyond the call of duty. He's asking me, when do you want me in? When do you want me to contribute? And he's on crutches, and he's saying that with a brace on his leg. So he still has something to give. He's still got the verbal reasoning that sometimes I need feedback from the changing room. He knows the changing room better than I do. That makeup of that changing room is going to be so vital and so key in the next 6 games, and Shane's a part of that.
Final point, obviously the planning for next season, I guess, is already underway to a degree. Do you have to have 2 plans, though, depending on which division you're in?
I think more than 2. My contract finishes on April the 20th, so I want to be a National League manager, minimum. So, you know, with that in mind, there's a lot of hard work to go into the next 3, 4, 5 weeks. And when it comes to the 20th of April, hopefully there'll be a new contract on the table, and then we can talk long and hard about players who we want to keep at the football club. At the moment, I've got to say it, everybody's contributing. I can't argue with anybody, whether that be number 1 or number 24. And I don't mean that literally squad numbers, I mean 24 in terms of the squad. Everybody's contributing on the training ground on a day-to-day basis, and if that continues, we've got a great chance. And then I'll reward the players that I think need rewarding. You know, at the end of the day, if me and Neil MacDonald are here next season, it's because we're still in the National League.